thank you, Ian Morris, for being the first person to be.
Thanks for asking.
For doing desert island scenarios, and so ever since I've been playing ASL, I've never got particularly to know you that well, but you've always been a face on the scene.
We've been around since about 2013. I did my first tournament in 2011.
Yeah.
Had a year break, and then 2013 I've started attending regularly until now.
But in actual fact, you've been playing ASL
for
and
35
squad leader.
years.
Wow.
Yeah, 37 years, including squad leader.
Yeah.
And you peaked last year in the.
Peaked is a very apt word.
I'm not suggesting you're going to come down, but you've reached the pinnacle. You won last year's tournament.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
So
I was pretty pleased with that.
That was exactly the sort of thing I wanted you to mention for the introduction.
You can tell us later on about your final and everything, because that was quite an interesting game.
Yeah, it was a good game. That was.
So you played Toby, didn't you?
Yeah.
So this is Toby Pilling.
Yep.
Famous Toby Pilling who contributes to this show.
Absolutely,
Amazing.
Yeah, he does. You beat him.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about that. So just to start with, then we'll go back to you.
Well, so the story on that was I was so pleased to get into the final, because I'd won all my games at the weekend, and that was great. Won the mini, won everything up to the final. I thought, great, in the final, I'm going to get some sort of prize. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm playing Toby Pilling, the top player in the country. I've never played him before, so I'm happy about that. So I celebrated on the Saturday night. And I celebrated until about 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. And then went off to bed and got about 3 hours sleep.
And then carried on celebrating in the morning?
Then I came downstairs with a massive hangover, partially assuaged by a good breakfast, and we chose the size and just kicked into it. And unfortunately for Toby, his dice just wouldn't play with him that day. He just could not get an ambush. You got stealthy troops, mine are not stealthy. He's concealed. I'm just blundering straight into him for close combat. He's getting -3 on the ambush rolls. Couldn't get an ambush roll to save his life.
Right, so you're our first desert island person, and so the idea is that you're going to tell us about the 3 scenarios that you would take with you onto the island, starting with just one at a time, doing the first one. Then you're going to and for each of those scenarios, you're allowed to have an opponent visit you.
Okay. So these are all 3 scenarios I've played before.
The first one, and they're all ones you played before, yeah?
All ones we've played before. I thought his favourite scenarios. I thought, well, we're stuck on a desert island, go big because you can't go home. So I thought, pick 3 big scenarios, and all ones I've played before against Gerard Burton, funny enough.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. Won 1, lost 2. So there's one on the Eastern Front, which is from Camp Crupper Shearer. Their fate sealed.
Okay.
Uses a whole map, massive forces, there's human waves, there's artillery, there's a few tanks, guns, there's ground snow, there's just everything is going on in this thing. It's just a massive scenario. So
how long would that take you to play like Gerard?
To play against Gerard, I go down to his place above his office.
Yeah.
He's got a flat there above his office, and we play there. So we get about 3.25, 3.5 hour session in each week. So that took us several weeks. That took at least. Yeah.
Wow.
It's quite a long scenario.
Yeah.
But because you can leave it set up,
Yes.
so it's great. So you can just leave it set up, put it in a draftsman drawer.
Yeah.
And it was just a fabulous scenario. We had a great time with that. And it came down to the last turn, to the last close combat phase.
Oh, wow.
I think he was about 4 or 5 close combats going on. He needed to win 3 to win, and didn't quite do it. Yeah.
Nice.
That's remarkable, isn't it? A game of that size to be so close at the end.
Oh yeah. That's why it's on their choice. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to look up whether it's well balanced. I mean, it probably hasn't had that many plays. I suspect maybe a scenario that size, but yeah. And so you got a visitor to play that with you. They're going to stay till you finish it. Who are you going to take?
Well, I'd probably take one of my 3 main opponents, which is Gerard, as mentioned, or Simon Staniforth, or Martin Mayers.
Okay. So did you win the scenario against Gerard?
Yes.
When you played it?
That one, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have Gerard for this one, perhaps for him to get his back on you?
Yeah, his revenge.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
So you can just a little bit, just brief, why Gerard? Why? I mean, obviously he's your regular opponent, and we all know Gerard.
We get on great.
Yeah.
It's fine. We always have a good time. And, we're quite competitive.
Yeah.
So.
And he's a very good player, actually, isn't he?
He's an excellent player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's methodical, isn't he? He's slow and steady. And
I've only played him once, and it was a bitter experience. Yeah.
He's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to get a result against.
The glee that he experienced as he was taking me apart. I mean, it was not. He had made no pretense of hiding his utter joy.
Yeah. Which is why we love him. Of course.
Yes, of course. Yeah. All right, so your second scenario then.
Okay, so let's go for, what was that, Eastern Front? So let's go for the Western Front. And again against Gerard, we played from Dispatches from the Bunker. He came out with a historical map, Operation Turn Screw, is it?
Okay.
I think it's called. And he played, there's a large scenario in that called Snipers, Spandos and Shreks.
Ah.
And again, that came down to the last turn. And I just lost that by a whisker. And that's British against German, and it's Commonwealth against German. That was a great game, a city fight. Unusual because it involves the British as opposed to Russians or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Americans, like that.
Yeah.
And that was, again, it's just a lovely map.
Yeah.
And she'd printed out. And,
so that's not geo boards, that's a historical...
No, it's a historical map.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, all three of these scenarios are historical maps.
Okay. Do you have a preference for city fights? Is that something
No.
you look for?
No, normally I try and shy away from them if anything, because
Yeah.
years and years of red barricades and
Right.
board one and all that sort of stuff.
What about, I mean, the fact that they're all from historical packs, is that a preference for you to be playing something that's
on
more
another
historical?
day I might have picked 3 deluxe scenarios or 3 other scenarios, but I thought about it. I thought,
So who's your opponent going to be on this one?
So on that one, I think I'd probably choose Simon.
Okay, Simon Staniforth.
This is Simon Staniforth, who's organising the tournament here.
Yeah, one of the organisers.
Joint meetings,
Good friend,
Yeah.
I'd say.
He's a good player. He's a good,
Excellent player. His rules knowledge is second to none.
Yeah.
He's really knows his stuff.
Yeah.
I was talking to Simon today and he said that he really hates it when people do things in the rally phase in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And I said, but I do them in the wrong order to annoy you when I'm playing you.
If you really want to annoy him,
Yeah.
put a different counter on than the counter you're supposed to be putting on. So if it's advancing fire phase, put a prep fire counter.
Excellent.
You know, Martin hates me putting CX counters of the wrong nationality.
Yes, that's true. I do. Yeah, that is a funny peculiarity.
You don't like it, do you?
Yeah, I hate it when I'm playing you and you offer me one of yours.
Even though they're generic on that side.
Well, exactly. But you see, I like the fact that you can flip them over. So you know that you guys are concealed, and they run out, and you go double time, flip it over because he's going to be exposed.
Yeah, you find every ASL player, to a greater or lesser degree, has their little oddities like this. We're all on the spectrum.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think
For me, it's dice. You know,
Okay.
which I didn't realise. I didn't know I had a
dice fetish.
Not a fetish, exactly. A bit of compulsive disorder about dice until I played against Craig one time. And he reached over and took the dice I was using. I said, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And then that was when it came home to me. Yes, I don't like people using the dice I'm using.
Right,
okay.
I see.
Yeah, by all means, pick dice for me. If you don't trust my dice, pick my dice
Yeah.
for me. That's fine. I'll use them. But once I use them, that's it.
Right. Okay.
So you couldn't play with one dice tower, were you both?
Well, I played with one dice tower. Yes.
Yeah.
Shared dice.
But you want
towers as
to
well.
put different dice pairs.
But yeah, those are my dice. Those are your dice.
Yeah.
Pick any of my dice that you want to use for yourself. That's fine.
Yeah.
But once you start using them, those are your dice. These are
Now,
my dice.
is that
the twain shall meet.
Because you think like the luck might even itself out. You get the double six.
I
He gets the
think
double
it's
one.
safe to say for statistics, if you roll dice 100 times, you're supposed to get an average spread. And if somebody else is using, then it's messing up the spread.
Okay.
To my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it's completely irrational. But I get you. I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Did you have another question?
No.
So your third and final scenario.
Would be Fallschirmjäger Graveyard, which uses the Operation McCurr map.
Okay.
Which again played against Germany. We had a fantastic time with that. It's paradrops in there, there's counter-attacking tanks, there's German paratroopers spread all over the map. Got guns on hilltops and bridges and villages, and it's just everything going on all over the map.
There's not enough
and it's
scenarios.
an absolute slaughter.
There's not enough scenarios, I think, that give you more than one thing to do and think about at the same time. Often it's down to one victory that you're looking to achieve.
There's paradrops, there's glider landings, everywhere.
So Sean Carter designed or helped to design that map, didn't he? I think that's Operation...
I think it's Old Heat of Battle one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Is that right?
It's in Crete, isn't it? It's Crete.
Yes, that's right,
it is. I'm pretty sure Sean Carter was heavily involved in that.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, but so, I mean, do you often play? Have you played a lot of parachute and scenarios and glider scenarios? I mean, those sorts of rules are places a lot of ASLers don't really go.
Well, I've played them. I've played everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to choose a fourth scenario, it would be PTO, and that would be Bloody Red Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seaborne landings, caves, everything going on.
Yeah.
Again, a scenario with everything going on and quite large forces, so that vagaries of the dice don't matter so much.
Yes, yeah.
And how long does that scenario take to play? Is that your third one?
So the third one, again, that was over a session over several weeks.
Okay.
And how long's the commute between you and, is it Gerald you played?
Yeah, I go down to London to see him, so it's at the moment it's train for me from my local station to Birmingham, then it's an hour and a half from Birmingham down, and then tube out to there. So if, say, I leave my house at 10 to 2, I'm down with him I'm down in London by 5 o'clock.
So this is Birmingham to London to play a turn of a ASL, a large.
Well, hopefully more than a turn.
I don't know how long.
Hopefully more than a turn.
In the evening.
That's right. Yeah, because I can do it for free.
Yeah. Okay. You're a trained driver.
Ex-trainman, not trained driver, ex-rail employee. So now retired. So,
Okay.
So I get my passage to be able to do that.
Fantastic.
So all it costs me is time.
Right. Okay, that's
great.
nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
And it gets me out of the house.
So how long were you working on the train side of things for?
Let's see, that was about 35 years. Wow. I was joined in 1980.
Yeah.
Wow. Died in 2018. Yeah, more than 30 years.
Wow.
So we know that Martin Mayers is your final choice, because Martin Mayers is the other tournament director here in Blackpool. So do you want to tell us a little bit about why you would choose to have Martin with you?
That's just to give him a repeated kicking, as he's been doing to me with monotonous regularity on Vassal.
So Martin's a good player as well.
Martin's a very good player.
You're not getting cheap wins.
Yeah, I've just been watching him just now. He's been taking Owen apart in that scenario playing.
Yeah.
With an excellent plan, he's encircling, come right round. Again, it's a big scenario, big forces. And he's able to actually run what looks like a proper sort of battalion attack, which you don't often see in
And would you replay? That's obviously, these are the scenarios you take, but if tomorrow someone says to you, we're just going to play a one-day big scenario, is it more attractive for you to take something you've never played before, or for example, one of those three that...
Don't mind really, I'll try anything, which is why I like the setup of this tournament, unknown scenarios.
Yes.
That's great. Everybody doesn't know them.
Yeah.
So, we've played the one this morning, Kempfort Medicove. I've never played that before. Probably one of the very few people who's never played it. So that's part of the attraction.
It was interesting today because Craig and Toby were talking about who are very competitive in these sorts of tournaments, saying that they like that they don't know what the scenarios are because it just saves them so much time preparing it, because they would prepare them.
Oh yes, especially Craig, I know.
And Toby does too. Toby does too. Yeah.
Which I used to do more or less. I try and have at least a defensive plan prepared.
Right.
But nowadays, it's just not the time.
Right.
Bizarrely, now I'm retired, there's not the time.
Nah.
That's what you should be in, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
you a defender or an attacker, would you say?
If it's a scenario I don't know, I prefer to be the defender while trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I do attack. I've realised I've become more aggressive on the attack these days as well, which is probably something I needed.
It's one of those things. Would you say you're a very careful player, or are you quite aggressive, or how do you describe your...
I think it's like the shipping forecast, actually. Moderate to good, occasionally very poor. You'd like to think I've done some things and they've been spectacularly dumb, and other times you say, oh, that's brilliant. And then you blunder into an anti-tank gun ambush. As I did against Simon in our last game. Went around the back of his village. Didn't expect his anti-tank gun to be there. Convinced it was down in the centre or the rear. And he took a shot and missed it. So, okay, he's got his entire prep fire phase to come. I've got 3 vehicles in line of sight. He's got a rate of fire, 3 anti-tank gun. I'm going to get shredded. Gapped it.
Genius play on your part.
Yeah, of course,
Brilliant. So the last thing we ask is you can take another game with you. You've got 3 great scenarios, 3 great visitors, and you've got a non-ASL game if you want. You can take with you as well.
Yeah, I'm torn between 2 really. I think on balance I'd probably go for Normandy 44, which has got everything I need to be able to solo at home. It's one map, which is great. So it fits on my table. The charts on my table. I've played it many times. Play it at least once a year.
And it's a solo game?
No, for me it's solo,
But you play it with presumably one other opponent? Is it a 2-player game?
For me it's always solo.
Okay. But would you take an opponent to play that one with? Would you rather play with an opponent?
In fact, I'd probably play that with Gerard. We're about to move on to some non-ASL stuff. And hopefully that will be one of the games at some point in the next couple of years. There's this tough toss-up between that and Jaws of Victory, which I enjoy very much.
And you sneakily got 2. Well done.
Four scenarios as well.
Rules are made to be broken.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you you play it solo, but do you have? Is it a 2-player game and you play both sides?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I used to play war games when I was a teenager. That's the only way you could play war games.
Yeah, exactly. Just do the best you can for each side.
Yeah.
I had a great time with Jaws of Victory. I played that during COVID, during a lockdown.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Can't go anywhere, can't do anything. That was great.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's very good, very good.
Well, you're very, very honoured.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I feel
Thanks
we're
for
honoured
asking.
to have you
kicked off the...
one of the not oldest as in age, but oldest
I suppose
as
I've
in
been
terms
around
of
for a while.
been around for a while
reigning
playing.
reigning champion as well.
Yeah. and reigning champion.
For at least another day.
Yeah. What's your expectations for this tournament? Are you?
I've got no expectations for it. I think. I didn't do too well at the last 2 tournaments. So,
Okay.
We'll
This
see
is
what
an
happens.
interesting format. So it's is it 4 groups of 4? I think is the plan.
Yeah, I think one will be a group of 6.
Is that right?
Depending on.
I think the
where you
hope
drop
is it'll be
down.
4 of 4, but it just depends on the numbers, and they'll
And then the winners go into a semi-final, a final.
Yeah, exactly that.
All blind scenarios.
Yeah.
All blind scenarios,
blind.
all been provided.
So
all by
just,
Bounding Fire, they've all been provided by.
Is that right?
Is
Yeah.
that right?
I think there's various different
various
Bounding
ones,
Fire, I think Advancing Fire.
Advancing Fire, probably, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Others.
well, good luck, and if we play
Thank
each
you.
other, look forward to a game. And,
It'd be a big
you
group
and
of
I
death, wouldn't it? We've
well,
never played.
We've
no,
not
no,
played.
no.
Have you guys played each other yet?
Once.
Once.
I think it might have been the very first tournament I did. 2011 Smiling Albert, I believe.
Right.
Wow.
Ah, yes, I do. That's right. Yeah.
Which I remember.
Who won?
Martin, of
Martin
course.
won.
I lost every game bar 1 at that particular tournament.
the
The
right
only person I
passage.
beat was Indy.
Oh well,
Yeah.
give him a shout out. He'll be watching this. So.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, thanks very much, Ian. We really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
And,
Yeah.
good luck with the tournament.
Oh, great. Thanks
Okay,
a lot.
all the
Thank
best.
you.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
Thank
Hope
you.
he wasn't too dull.